Isn't that cool? Look, birds chit-chatting with each other. Okay, good morning everybody. Well, it's morning for me. I don't know if it's morning for you, and it's morning here. The birds are making noise and it's so neat. Anyways, we're in the forest because I'm going to talk about a couple things today. The first one is the trail that we're building. So I'm at the very back of the trail essentially. This is sort of the back end and this is the old loop. If you've been here for a while, then you'll know that this loop here goes around this cedar and maple, and it's just a loop here. There's a bridge over there, a little bridge. You go up that way, it goes towards the house. But making a new all-weather trail, and this one kind of comes around a little wider, hits the edge of this sort of cliff. I don't know if it's a cliff or what we're going to call it, but yeah, it goes down a little ways, not too far, maybe 15 feet or something like that down to there. And down there's like a drainage sort of little waterway kind of thing. And so this goes back and around and all the way up to the top. But the priority for me, we're finally getting some decent weather here instead of the rain that we've been getting, and things are finally drying out, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna give it a few more days for sure. But my highest priority item to get done while it actually stays dry and doesn't go all wet again. Look at deer track. There's deer in here. I know there's bears in here too, but let's see if we can find any. But I call this area, I affectionately call it the swamp. And a lot of the water that kind of drains out of the land sort of ends up draining down here naturally. So I sort of dug this down a little bit, brought this stuff up here to make this area higher for the trail, which still allows the water to drain along its natural course on the property. And it's been wet and soggy for a little while, but it's gonna get dry. Now, when that happens, I've got to flatten all this out. Obviously, this is a mess. Can't put gravel on top of this, and it's gonna lead right to there. See? We are at our trail that I've been building for the last month or so. And once it gets over to here, we'll be connected up to the rest of the trail system. That one goes that way. That goes, this is our east to west connector. That goes north towards the property. And then this will be a trail that goes into the big loop into the forest. So the trail project has always been about making the property usable for horse training or just wandering around on a nice early morning with all the birds and coffee or something like that. But it's vital that this property is usable, obviously, and this is a big area. The forest is huge. A lot of people ask me how big the property is. It's 5 acres. And from essentially what we can see here, the covered arena there, from about there back, we're looking at least half the property is forest. So, and this is the trail that ends up going back to where we were. It curls around over that way and ends up back where we just were. So once the swamp is done, the rest can kind of be done even if it doesn't stay dry all the time. So that's really good. But gotta get it to be dry. We've had some crazy weather this year. Really wet. What are you gonna do? So you just gotta wait, but it's gotta be all weather around here because it's too much rain and everything just becomes muddy and soggy and unusable, completely unusable. So it's a big project. I'm working hard at it, but it's gonna happen. And this is the area here where we've got trail where we were just down the other way there. And I was pointing like that way is up and this way is up. So this was the first loop that was done. That's the second loop. I've got some little dirt trails that I'm hoping to be able to use. Little one there, little one goes from there into the forest. This is a noisy one, eh? Love it when the birds are chirping away. It's so cool. The middle area here is growing some good weeds and grass. So hopefully, gosh, hopefully this year I can fence it in a little bit and have like a small pasture. And so that dream is coming true as well. Now, on to the bigger bit of news. pun intended, we have a company, a news company called Global News BC, coming out to do a special on horses. Not just horses, but wild horses, the feral horses. And before that, we've had to do some massive cleaning in here. So from this morning on, paddocks are getting all sorted out and cleaned and scraped down because it gets messy after a little while. Here's Luke's, nice and clean. Move along. We've done the first 5. We've got 3 more to go. We head up to the top. But the idea is to be able to raise awareness for these BC Wildies. And you might be like, well, what's a BC Wildie if you're new here? BC Wildie is like our British Columbia, our Canadian Mustangs, so to speak. There are feral horses. There are wild horses. They're a mix. They're whatever they are. They live out there. The problem is in BC that the government doesn't care about them at all. In fact, they want them kind of gone. So the only ones left are the ones that are on the reserves. And so that's where we end up kind of getting them from when they get rounded up. Look at Yoka's paddock. Bam. Oh, signs. Got signs in preparation. Hopefully look a little more professional, but I kind of wanted them for a while anyway. So it was a good incentive. So yeah, Gracie's in number 5. All clean in here as well. It's insane. Places never look so good. But the idea is we want to raise awareness for these BC Wildies because, well, they're going to get eradicated. And we have the province next door, which is Alberta here in Canada, and they have their horses protected and are still trying to protect them. BC has absolutely nothing. In fact, it's the exact opposite. So if we can raise a little more awareness for these guys, then great, because they are amazing animals. So I've been racking my brain exactly what to talk about, because it's really going to be a short interview, but it's going to be on our news stations here in Canada. It's kind of cool. So we're going to talk about the guy in paddock number 4, Mr. Wild, and we'll talk about Annie as well. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to go pretty good. I'm excited. I think it should be well received. People love horses. People love, I don't know, like the therapy, the feeling of being around them. They love the look of them. They love being able to ride them. They love being able to hang around with them. And so we really want to kind of sell the idea that when these guys go, we're kind of missing out on a whole breed almost, even though they're not a breed, but they're still kind of a category in and of themselves. Because as you guys have seen, they are amazing. I've never worked with better horses in my life. For the purposes of creating a relationship, for the purposes of being able to train them to do things, to trust, it's just off the charts in my opinion. If I could only have BC Wildies, I would, absolutely, because I've had such, I don't know if it's luck, but such good experiences, such good feelings around that. So anyhow, so I'm gonna cut this here because we've got to get back to work here, and I'll try to see if I can get any footage of the actual interview process and stuff, and I'll come back. I'll talk about it when I'm done. Hopefully I have nothing but really good things to say. Hasn't happened yet, so this whole video, hopefully it's for something good. It's exciting. I hope you guys are as excited as I am about this, because it's a really cool thing. Anyhow, let's leave it at that for this part, and I'll see you guys shortly. All right, good morning, everybody. It is the next day, and I didn't get a single bit of footage of working with Global, but it was a great interview. I don't know how much is actually going to air. It's sort of a 2-minute feel good, talking about what people are doing in the province or in the country. I'm not really sure, that are feel good, useful, and good for the world sort of things. And saving these horses is one of those things. So we did this huge interview. It was like 20 minutes easily. They asked me questions, and the star of the show was little Annie. Hello, little Annie. You did great. You got all kinds of hay on top of your head now. But Annie was just an absolute treat to be with. She behaved amazingly, and as usual, was very snuggly throughout the whole process. It was hot. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'll let her eat. We didn't do a heck of a lot out in the sun. We were to do a little bit inside of the covered arena, and worked with little Annie here to get her to put up with a blanket on her back, which she did, which was really good. I don't know how much that'll get used. And then of course we had Mr. Wild, who is just down a little further. Let's go say hi to him. I'd like to introduce you to my camel, Mr. Meatball. And worked a little bit with him as well. And of course, he presents fantastically. He's such a good looking horse. You can't go wrong showing that guy on camera. And we did a little bit of extra stuff before they got here, because 2 o'clock it gets hot. I mean, right now we've got nothing but blue, pure blue skies. And summertime, well, I mean, already it's morning. It's already 20 some odd degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Sorry about that. Not, I don't know, 90? No, can't be that high. Anyhow, hot for me. So we did a little bit of, hey buddy, you did great too. You were a fantastic little horsey. Look at this guy with his battle scars. He's getting kicked by the girl. Why are you getting mad at me? I'll touch your battle scars all I want. You see his, I don't know if you guys could catch his ears there for a second. Anyhow, so we did some, a little bit, or I did a little bit of riding, and David did a little bit of video for me. And then got the drone out, did a little bit of drone work with him in the trails. So hopefully the idea is that the story that's being crafted, I'll be able to provide whatever material they might need, because we need to talk about, you know, why save these guys? What can we do with them? What makes them so great? How is it better for them and us? And what happens if we don't save them? Stuff like that. So it was really good. I'm very excited that we were able to do this. It was, I think it's going to be beneficial. I think it'll raise a little bit more awareness. I'm really happy to have done it, and I hope I can do more. I think it might be a good idea to put together some media relations stuff and get a hold of some news places and just say, hey, you want to do a little quick feature? We put together some materials, and they can run a little bit of an interview behind that kind of idea. So I think that's what's going to happen. Anyhow, this guy was fantastic as always. Annie was fantastic as always. The Wildies are just insane. You guys have seen Annie's bath time. I couldn't believe it. I just am blown away. 4 minutes. She had it all sorted out. I didn't think I needed to do much more. I could have done a little bit more, but I thought maybe I'll just leave it at that, because she settled. She was calm. She accepted the water, the jet nozzle. Not a good question, whether or not it would have been good to not use the nozzle. And the answer is, actually, I prefer to use a nozzle because I can sort of direct. Sometimes when you're spraying a horse, you can hit a particular part of them, like their legs or something like that, and they'll start to skid sideways or come towards you and stuff. And you don't want them coming towards you. And you've got one hand on a hose and one hand on the rope, and it's hard to sort of ward them off. So you can actually just raise it up a little bit, and then when they respond, you put it back down. So it's a little bit of like, it's almost like flag work, except it's water. And so it gives me more control, and it's not such a big deal. This jet stream's not very strong at all. So it's set on shower settings, so, you know, it's like getting a shower, and it's a hot day. Try to only do these things on hot days when they want a little bit of cool down anyway, so hopefully it works well for them. Anyhow, that's going to be the end of this one. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. It's going to be a couple weeks before it comes out. When it does, I'll make sure to put a link somewhere where you guys can see it, and hopefully it goes really, really well and everybody likes it, you know, and get some more awareness for these little Wildies out here. Anyhow, that's it for this one, and we're going to continue on with stuff today. Lots to do. So see you guys in the next one. I'm just going to tack this onto the end, because the start of the video started with, I got to do this. Look at this now. It's pretty mushy though. But look at that. Bam. We finally have the swamp trail sorted. So it's maybe a little teaser as to what is to come soon for this. So this trail here will be able to, well, it links up with this trail. This trail here will be able to finally link up and down into the swamp and around. Bam. Just got to get some fabric, a little gravel down here. It's awesome.